but we say that it's never the burden of the society to stop corruption. The problem is like a domino effect. If your brain is corrupted, then your body is corrupted. If the higher ranking of the government is corrupted, the people will suffer effects from the corruption.
And we propose something to stop this problem by saying that the authority should get higher payment, and this has been proposed but not entertained. And also we want an independent body of authority, for example like MACC, should not be under the Prime Minister's department.
At the end of the day, the only people that can change the system and are put in a position to be responsible for that change is the government. Just because you have a democratic society doesn't mean you have a more or lesser corruption. There was no point in her speech that actually proved that. And the reason for laws to use in the first place is for the common good, to establish a norm where everyone can accept.
They tell us we're going to pay everyone more, and that's how we're solving the problem. Corruption doesn't happen because they don't have enough money, Mr. Speaker. It happens because there's opportunity and they're greedy people, authorities. We're not saying that the government is doing enough, but what we say, Mr. Speaker, is that the people aren't doing enough to make sure that they're doing the job. It becomes a culture when there are enough people who continue to practice it and perpetuate it through a long amount of time.
The word democracy comes from the Greek words demokratos, which means people power, not power of a few people on top. You cannot say that the government is ultimately the one that will change everything, that will change people, because people are what change governments, and that is what the function of the people. Yes, you trust the politicians, but you still have to check on them. The key question of the debate is, who is responsible for the continuation of corruption in our society today? And we answer that it's both the government and the people.
Similarly, you can't expect, if you're telling that the government is corrupt, who is electing the government? Who is electing the MP? It's the people. How many of us are aware of this? How many of us are taking this responsibility to change this situation? When I share the same culture with the policeman to give and take bribe, then I'm part of the system. You cannot tell just because riot must refuse to give. No.
Alright, in my personal point of view, it's not easy, to deal with corruption, especially when the complexity of the corruption cases. We need to beef up UndiMsia. We have actually identified 106 new critical positions to be filled in UndiMsia, namely forensic accounting.
Like for example, what are the deficiencies in MACC that you found out so that we know about it?
The thing about that, we need to strike a balance, between being a normal rakyat and on the same time we need to cooperate with UndiMsia. The current political scenario, I don't think we can do that. But what we want to do last year, we have been able to actually persuaded the Chief Secretary to the government, the KSN, actually to come up with a circular called public engagement on laws, new laws, a change of laws.
Basically, after every lab, there's going to be a book. Yeah. After this lab, there will be a book. In the book, there will be a chapter on corruption. In what level of detail, but this book will be available in hard copy and online as well. So you can download it on Pemandu's website. Yeah.
What Lokman said, you need to strike a balance. If you want to initiate change, the only way you initiate change is by engaging with the people who can make the change right now.